How's it going, guys? It's Mario Armani from Armani Realty, and today we're bringing you a really cool vlog. I'm actually here with Patricia. She's a writer and content creator here locally in the community of Vaughan, and she actually reached out to me as she is a resident here in the community, and she actually wanted to interview me and ask some questions that she was thinking that hopefully can help out some of the viewers at home. So Patricia, thank you very much for asking me to do this video and considering my opinion to be as an expert opinion, and I'm all yours.
I'm excited to do this video with you because I've got so many questions, and I'm sure a lot of people at home have questions as well. So one of the things I'm excited to talk to you about was something that I read in the Globe and Mail, and I'm not sure if anyone else has read it, but they were talking about how the current value of homes in Toronto are going to escalate to over $3 million by 2026.
Yeah. I also read that article. As soon as I read it, I kind of thought to myself, this is absolutely crazy. Like, if that actually does end up happening, I myself would be very shocked. The way that inflation has gone over the last few years and property prices just literally going up 10, 15, 20% within a year. Obviously, over the past 2 years, the market's gone down quite substantially, but I personally don't see that happening. The government has put in a lot of things in place over the last few years to kind of freeze prices. And although I do think that the property values are going to go up from here to 2026, I don't think it's going to go up. Like, you're talking average price of a home in Toronto now is 1.3 million. You're talking about it being 3.5. It's 3 times the price. I don't see that happening in the next 6 years.
Well, that's good to know, especially for people who are looking to buy a house for the first time.
Definitely.
And I know a lot of focus has been on people who are looking to buy a home for the first time and the challenges that they're going to face.
Yes.
You know, for me in particular, I'm already a homeowner. And I want to know, what do you think that means for people like me who already own a home?
For people that own a home, they have a real big benefit because obviously they're already in the market. So their property, unless they purchased it over the last couple of years, their property has gone up dramatically in value. However, if you're just a brand new homeowner, it is a little bit more challenging. The government has recently, a few weeks ago, implemented a few changes to technically help the first-time buyer. Although really, I don't feel it's going to be that much of a help. An extra $10,000 from an RRSP towards an actual down payment, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. But it is nice that the government is recognizing that first-time home buyers do need help. And at the end of the day, some help is better than no help, right?
Right, for sure. So what would you say, from your standpoint, for somebody who owns a property right now, it's probably the house that they're living in, but kind of wants to make that transition? I know that my husband and I, we go back and forth on whether we should buy a rental property.
Sure.
So what would you say for someone like me who is on the fence of buying that income property? Income
properties are tricky. Realtors, they a lot of the times really try to push income properties, and I really feel that they're not for everybody. And the reason why I say that is because to buy an income property, it is a lot of work. The first thing you have to decide is what route you want to go. If you want to actually buy a home versus a condo, with a condo you have a lot less worries because obviously you're never going to have to change the roof or fix the furnace or anything like that. But you do have that monthly maintenance, which takes away from your bottom line at the end of the day in terms of an investment. It is work. You have now the landlord and tenant board heavily favoring tenants, and when I say that they're heavily favoring tenants, I say that as a landlord and going through the unfortunate thing of having a tenant not pay me and having to go through courts, and it's just very challenging. So I really would advise anybody who's thinking of buying an income property to really look at all of the pros and cons. It's not just flowers and roses. There are some bad things that may happen in the process.
And that's a valid point that my husband and I keep talking about. You know, what do you do when renter doesn't pay their property and all of those kind of things that come afterwards? Because you're looking, if you have a rental property, you're looking to make money, right?
It's a challenge. A lot of realtors actually speak on that subject, but they actually speak without knowing exactly what's happening because they've never really been through that process, and they know what the process really is, but there's no substitute for experience. So unless you go through it, you're never really going to know.
Right, for sure. So, you know, if someone's already in the market and they're looking to make a change, maybe they have a bigger home, they're trying to downsize, maybe they have a smaller home, they're trying to go bigger, maybe they want to move out of the city, maybe they want to transition to a condo. What sort of advice would you give them?
I think that the most important thing is to look at all of the options. People are kind of one-track minded sometimes, and I think that at that point, a great realtor will kind of sit them back and say, well, listen, these are all of the options that are available to you. So as a realtor, I kind of feel that I'm not really a person that's going to help you sell and buy your house, but I'm also going to help you kind of adapt to that next level of lifestyle that you're going to need. There's a lot of people that now they don't have younger kids, they have older kids, they may need something a little bit smaller,
right.
or you could get to that age in, like, let's say your mid 50s, late 50s, where you're kind of thinking of that downsizing portion, right? So I feel that that's one of the things that I help people the most with not only looking at the purchase and the sale, but also kind of helping them with that future lifestyle that they may possibly need to get into, right?
And that's a great point. You know, Mario, we're talking a lot about things that really have been on my mind, and I'm
Sure.
so happy that you took the time to talk to me.
No problem, anytime.
You know, before we close this, I want to ask you, what would you say to someone who's looking to buy a home for the first time, or someone who's looking to make a change?
I love that question, and going back to the point that I mentioned just a few minutes ago, I think it's research. I think it's interviewing a few realtors, making sure that the realtor that you chose is the right one for you. I may have an opinion, but there might be another realtor that may have a better opinion than me. So if you only talk to one person, you're only going to hear one side of the story, right? So I feel that it's very important to get the necessary information in order for you to make a conscious and wise decision. And that's where I feel that a lot of home buyers and home sellers really fall short. They just go with their friend or their family member or the person whose sign they see in the area, and not necessarily the person that is the best for them. Like, the way that I think of it is, if you're getting a life-threatening operation, you're going to get the best doctor to operate on you. And I feel that's the same thing with a realtor, that you have to get that best person to help you in that kind of situation.
For sure. Do your research and
Yes.
see who's out there, because maybe your realtor doesn't have your best interest at heart.
It's unfortunate to say that some people don't act in the best interest of the public, and unfortunately I've been able to see that, and it's just what happens, unfortunately, right? So it's just up to the homeowner or buyer in that particular case to do their research and do their homework and make sure they're using somebody who's really going to go above and beyond for them.
Right. Thank you so much, Mario.
No
This
problem.
has been very informational, and I hope that a lot of people just like me are getting value from this.
Well, I was really surprised when you reached out to me, and I figured to myself, you know what, it's awesome. On my website, it specifically says I love educating buyers and sellers. So if anybody else would like to ask me any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can call or text me anytime, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. And that's pretty much it. I'm really grateful that you reached out.
Thanks, Mario, for answering my questions.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Thanks.